people count as social welfare programs and then they take up like most of it, so and they can't like work in infrastructure, so they need welfare programs.
Well, but the problem is, and that's not means tested, right? If they're disabled, then it's not means tested. You have to link disability with poverty. Well, you can successfully link disability and poverty. Don't count on it, don't rely on that and nothing else. Okay, go have multiple angles. Be ready to listen, spread them out, lay your claims big and broad, and pull back as you need to. Okay? Yes. Alice, that girl is insane. She always has negative things to say. We're super prepped. What am I responding to here?
Okay, so Anoop completely drops his valence K already. Let's see. Okay. So I responded to his perm argument by saying, like, again, like, there's only two real solutions: getting rid of the surveillance completely, or, like he says, or like continue with our plan. And clearly, ours has the better benefits and stuff. And how, like, continue the terrorist disadvantage, and then the terrorist disadvantage, he kept saying how, like, FBI lies. So I said stuff about how, like, this doesn't really apply. Because, like, the closer examination shows how, like, so the court case only says the FBI cannot lie, which is true. No one should be able to lie to court. However, it does not address the core argument how we require surveillance. And stuff like that.
How much time do I have for this speech?
5 minutes.
Just guesstimated or something. I don't know. Steven, you got a timer?
You want me to timer?
You got a timer, Steve?
I'll time you.
Take careful notes on this, Steve. You're going to duplicate it after I'm done.
Okay.
You might have multiple people duplicate it. If I can do a
Is
good
the recording
job.
full time? Are you sure?
Alright.
He stood up.
Say, somebody give me time starts now.
Time starts now.
Okay, my opponent claims that I've dropped his surveillance K. What he fails to understand is that his surveillance K is not even exclusive of my plan, because his surveillance K only suggests that we increase watching from below, whereas my plan actually prevents watching from above. Those things are not mutually exclusive. There's no reason to think that his surveillance K has any impact on the round. There's no reason for me to address it directly, since it's obviously not relevant and it's obviously permanent. So to the extent that we want a permit, we can. To the extent that we don't want a permit, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't prevent us from affirming. Even if we do negate, even if you wanted to negate on that surveillance notion, it doesn't prevent you from affirming at the same time, so therefore it doesn't actually negate. Okay, so next let's go on to his response here, where he says, no, the solutions are exclusive on the war on drugs. Well, unfortunately, my opponent continually seems to be missing the point here. They're absolutely not exclusive, because we're dealing with a law enforcement agency that's been empowered to do some surveillance and is engaged in systematic, institutionalized abuse of that power to exercise that power in ways that violate the individual rights of citizens all around the country in pursuit of supposed just outcomes by way of drug laws. But in fact, there's not even a single justifiable aspect to it that you can claim explains why it would be just. Because, for example, there's no violation of another person's rights that is incurred that when one uses drugs or purchases drugs or sells drugs. So then why would it be the case that it would be justified to violate that individual's rights for doing so? In other words, the action, the response is worse morally, ethically, and by any reasonable sense logically than is the action which it purports to punish. So because of that fact, he's simply not addressing that warrant at all. He's trying to dodge it. And when I say human rights is an issue, and he says, oh no, we've got these other solutions that are better, and I say, well, we can use your solutions as well. To make illegal the law enforcement's behavior that they are currently abusing and causing the violation of rights is not exclusive of giving treatment, and is not exclusive of anything except for your policing alternative, which is weak and poorly developed. You don't extend it at all, and there's no reason to think that that particular warrant should exist. Number 2, protection of rights. He says that we have to worry about all this terrorism stuff. I point out that in fact this sort of terrorism rhetoric is counterproductive to a free society, that it leads to, it's always used to justify authoritarianism, it's almost never used for any other purpose whatsoever. That a legitimate security concern that was emerging from terrorism would naturally emerge almost for certain either internationally or be unrelated to drugs. There's no reason to assume that we should justify all surveillance of any sort by any authority figure simply because it might have something to do with terrorism. That's basically the fundamental logic within his claim. He's saying that just because a drug deal might somehow be related to a terrorist organization, and he uses evidence where he links South American drug cartels to Middle Eastern terrorist organization. Well, however, none of that links
Latin
back.
America.
You didn't use that? Well, okay, well, whatever you link to. He used various evidence to show that the drug trafficking is in fact linked to crime, is in fact linked to terrorism, but that is part of the problem of the way that we're enforcing it. If we were not enforcing it in the following with surveillance, if we were not engaging in all these authoritarian practices that cause the criminal elements to become more militarized, then we wouldn't have all the various associated violent harms and other problems associated with the drug trade. If it were licit rather than illicit, then we would be able to tax it and it would be regulated as any other industry is, and that would be a good thing. We should do that. Unfortunately, we're not tasked in this resolution to be able to accomplish that kind of solvency, so instead, what we're doing is criminalizing the law enforcement behavior that is most commonly abused. We're criminalizing the behavior that they call parallel construction, which is actually just lying to the courts, making up make-believe ways in which they found evidence in order to get that evidence admissible, even when it clearly is not admissible by any reasonable interpretation of the Constitution or individual liberty or being a member of a free society. So, given the fact that the government and these government agencies are engaged in unlawful behavior, a systemic and institutionalized pattern of unlawful behavior and deceptiveness within the court system, we cannot rely on anything short of a constitutional amendment to criminalize this behavior and put an end to this awful behavior by these horrible law enforcement professionals. Now, next I want to talk to you about this one. He says the FBI can lie.
He says the FBI isn't allowed to lie.
No, I didn't say that. I said, look, no one should be allowed to lie to court. However, this doesn't actually respond to my argument.
All right, fine. So, look, I pointed out that the FBI is engaged in a systemic process of lying. He says, well, nobody should be allowed to lie in court, but that's a separate matter. That's not somehow linked directly to the drug thing. But the problem with that argument is that it is linked directly to the drug thing because it's the criminal behavior that the cops are doing. Whereas, as a matter of fact, the other thing is not linked. So that's just not true what he's saying. Okay, here, that's it. What do you think about that speech? Is that okay?
There's a lot of things in what I've already said that I need to respond to.
Okay, so you already addressed all that stuff or what?
Well, like, I think I could extend some stuff that I've already said to respond to it. I'm pretty sure.
But I mean, what do you think I didn't cover that I ought to have covered?
I think that was good. Seems good.
Okay, fine. Anoop, can you do that? All right, you try.
I know it's like, oh.